need to understand the market where you are trying to do a crowdfunding campaign. So it's important that you do not crowdfund something if you have the impression that the understanding of that market is not completely clear in your head, or maybe it was clear 5 years ago, but you don't know exactly where that market is nowadays. How do you do that? First of all, you need to get early where the audience is, and usually we're talking about Discord servers, forums, Reddit, various groups on Facebook or other social media. You should be a backer of projects in your market. That is very important to understand what the others are doing. And also, if possible, you should try to attend live events, show prototypes of your game project, and speak to people. Speak to people especially that are outside your circle of friends, because the feedback you get from friends is not always ideal. Sometimes they don't know how to give you feedback. Sometimes they don't give you some specific feedback just to avoid hurting your feelings. And even if you think they are being completely honest, they might not be. So you need to talk with people that have no emotional attachment to you or the game to get proper feedback. The online conversation. If you're not aware of what's going on online, you should not do a crowdfunding campaign online. So here's a to-do list of things you can do to improve the situation if that's where you are. As I mentioned, join Facebook groups, subreddits, Discord servers. These are probably the three best at the moment that are related to what you're trying to do. There are also forums nowadays. Maybe forums are a bit less popular, but there are other communities, some kind of databases that people maintain. For example, there is a very popular one that lists all the crowdfunding projects for a certain year on RPG Geek. It's a great place to be, just so you see where the market is going. So you need to read what people say about these projects month after month, and possibly contribute without asking for anything in exchange. So don't be there just to spam your project, just try to be there to contribute to the conversation. And yeah, before you introduce your project, it is a very good rule to have been in that place for a while and people know you, and they are immediately more interested in what you have to present compared to somebody who enters the place and just spam their stuff and then disappear. That's usually not very well received, so keep that in mind. You need to learn from other campaigns, what other campaigns are doing, and to do that, first of all, you should back projects that are similar to yours, but also different, and on different platforms, just to see what are the possibilities, what is the range of possibilities of things you can do. I would suggest that at this point that you try at least Kickstarter and Game Crowdfunding, which has been gaining popularity recently. You need to feel what a backer feels, because if you never backed anything and you never invested your own money, just to be disappointed because a product is late, because it's not exactly what they promised, etc., then it's hard for you to make a campaign that avoids these mistakes. Would you back your project if you had to pay for it? It's easy to be excited about your project until you ask somebody to pay a certain amount of money to get it, and at that point you can see a very different reaction. Some people will throw money at the screen, and some people will say, man, I wouldn't play this even if it was free. You need to learn differences between Kickstarter and other platforms you're considering. They're usually minimal, but some are relevant, so just try more than one platform if possible. Try to understand how people share opinions there, how the payments work, how the updates are sent, what kind of notifications people get, because all that experience will be useful when you have to do your own campaign. Also, super important, monitor the feedback that backers give to the game creators inside the projects, just to see what kind of issues they're facing, if they have problems, if people are excited, if it's just compliments, or people are complaining because something is wrong. That's the kind of situation you're putting yourself into, so just be aware of what happens to others. And a very important rule is that you need to see at least one project as a backer through. That means that you need to back it and wait until it's delivered, so that you have all the phases, you have an idea of all the phases that the project goes through, because that will happen to you as well. And an important thing is that you talk and listen to people in real life, if possible. How do you do that? You, as we mentioned, you try to take part to local events that are focused on your market. Go to talks. Sometimes there are some panels that are interesting where people share ideas, and maybe you can attend as a viewer or maybe even as a speaker. You can get ideas talking with people. As we mentioned, you can show your prototype, make people play it, and especially gather feedback from people not in your circle. This is a super important concept, and very few people get it, especially when they're at their first project. Do not be afraid of sharing your game idea, because ideas are worth nothing. And I know that people don't want to hear it, but ideas are worth nothing, and it's all about executions. It's super easy to have a cool idea. It's incredibly hard to make it happen. So even if somebody would steal your idea, 99.9% of the cases they won't be able to execute on it as you probably would be. So talk with them, and most of the time, I would say almost 100% of the time, people will try to improve on your idea, but they want you to do it because they don't want to do it. This is so much work that you need to understand that bringing an idea to completion is a great achievement, and very few people can do it. So share your idea. That's the most important thing. Especially interact with people that don't know it already. See what is their reaction, and pay attention to what they say. Maybe you don't have to implement any suggestion that they give you, but it will make you think about how you can improve things, and probably you know what is the best solution for maybe a problem that they bring up. So that is very valuable feedback.